What's up guys, this is Millie here. This is literally my second attempt at this video because as you may have read the title, it's traveling tips to India. At first I wrote down ideas for this sometime last year before there was even any plans to travel to India. But in saying that, having traveled to India over Christmas and New Year's, in case you haven't noticed on my YouTube channel, I traveled to India over Christmas and New Year's, and I was able to put down a few more ideas that were more catered to my experience, which I thought would be better. So this is my second attempt at giving you traveling tips to India. Tip number 1, Indian rupees. Now, if you are traveling from New Zealand like I did, there is a rule which doesn't allow you to carry Indian rupees with you when you're flying out of New Zealand. This will be the case for most other countries as well. The reason for this is the Indian rupee is not a fully convertible currency, and a lot of foreign exchange booths don't carry that particular currency either. So my advice would be for you to carry dollars and just exchange them once you've landed in India. Tip number 2, water. If you are traveling from New Zealand, yes, there's going to be a lot of references to New Zealand because I was traveling from here, but if you are traveling from New Zealand, you're used to drinking water from the tap. Hell, you probably had water whilst brushing your teeth, and maybe, just maybe, you might have had water whilst having a shower. As you know, I like to share just a little bit more in my videos. But anyway, back to this. If you are traveling from New Zealand or anywhere in the world where you drink water from the tap and you're used to it, as hard as it may be, when you are in India, do not drink water from the tap. I have heard some of the most horrific stories of people who've suffered, food poisoning or otherwise because they've had water from the tap. And this is because the water in India isn't pure, so you really do need to get it from a filtering system. But yeah, do not drink water from the tap. The second thing is, if you are buying, like a bottled water, always check that the seal is tight. It shouldn't just open easily. That's how you know the seal is tight. The reason I say that is because a lot of people tend to recycle bottles. They'll just fill water from like a pipe or something, and they'll just put it in like a nice looking bottle, with proper packaging, and they'll put it in there. So make sure it's tightly sealed, and if you have to pay again for another bottle, might as well do that, because your health comes first, because you do not want to fall sick when you're traveling in India, because there's just so much to see. And when you do go to a restaurant and the waiter has seated you, he'll ask you what kind of water you want. Tell them you want Bisleri. Bisleri is basically like a company that produces bottled water, like Pump or H2Go. I don't know what other companies in the world there are that produce packaged bottled water, but just say you want Bisleri and they'll know what to give you. That is my advice. That's how you can, keep yourself healthy. Tip number 3, safety. My advice to you, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, is to always go out with a group of people, to stay in highly populated areas like the main road, malls, shopping centers, things like that. The second thing is, I know a lot of people that are backpacking through India or through any country or in general, they like to carry their big rucksacks, on their back when they go out shopping or whatever. In India, this is very, very uncommon, and in general, big bags like that can lure, petty thieves, pickpockets towards you. So if you can avoid it, that would be my advice. And again, the last advice is, whether you're a man or a woman, start heading back towards your hotel, your other type of accommodation around 9 p.m. because you do not want to stay out too late in India. Tip number 4, festivities. Indian culture is known for its festivities, and if you can, you're flexible with when you fly on your trip to India, then I would highly recommend looking up what festival is coming up so you can enjoy it in India. I've never had the chance to, experience a festival in India, but the festivals that I would recommend you that you can plan your trip around would be Holi, which usually happens around February, March, or Diwali, which happens around October, November. The Hindu calendar is quite different to the calendar we follow, so it's always best to just check online when those dates are and book your travels accordingly if you are keen to check out those festivals. Tip number 5, history. India has a vast history. Needless to say, India has seen a lot, from the sultans to the Mughals to the British. There's something at every corner for you to explore. If you are traveling to India to get a feel of its history, my advice to you would be to do as much research as possible and understand and get a feel of what was happening at the time. Especially if you're planning on visiting specific monuments such as the Taj Mahal or the different forts. Do your research, understand what was going on. That would be of benefit to you. In small towns like Agra, people have learned English not so much by learning it, but by hearing it. So their English is very broken and they might not be able to do a good job of, fully explaining to you what was going on or what the architecture is all about or whatever it is that they need to tell you. But in saying that, nowadays all the historic monuments in India have started keeping audio guides over there, and I think there's like 4 or 5 different languages that you can get an audio guide in. If you do decide to take a guide, ensure they're a registered guide. They should have like a little badge or an ID thing sort of hanging. It should be clearly identifiable. They'll have like a badge. And you might want to check at the ticket counter as to how much is a reasonable price or what's their going rate. And then you might have to bargain further because there'll be people that sort of inflate the price a little bit, so you might have to do your bargaining bit. But I guess now that audio guides are available, you have the alternative. So these were my travel tips to India. I hope they were useful to you. If you have any tips of your own, leave them in the comments below. Whoever comes across this video, it would be helpful for them. If you've been to India, what was your experience like? And yeah, my social media and my blog links are in the description below. And just before I leave, I would like to say that this brings all of my videos to India to an end. However, like I said, India has a lot of history, and because I went to New Delhi, Jaipur and Agra, I am working on a documentary that I'm going to be uploading in about 7 weeks called The Golden Triangle, so keep an eye out for that. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.